Hey, it's a Homo Collector here, and yeah, we're getting near the end of the year here, so I figured I wanted to do at least one more unboxing. One, because I've had a lot of stuff come in, but two, I keep opening packages because I ordered things from overseas as Christmas gifts as well, and I've been trying to get all that wrapped up. So this will be going up last Friday of the year, which right now the date's escaping me. But yeah, I thought it'd be a bit more festive instead of doing it on the dining room table like we normally do. We'll sit down here, do it right on the ottoman in front of my Christmas tree, which is a bit barren. I apologize. Have a very nice rum and coke, and just have a bit of a nice quiet reflection on the past year. Collection's grown a lot this year, so it's been a lot of fun doing the archiving, the research, everything. And yeah, currently as of filming this, we're at 928 subscribers. So there's a very real chance that next year we'll hit 1,000. I actually think it'll be most likely next year we'll hit 1,000, which is kind of crazy. The channel's definitely grown significantly, and yeah, I really enjoy talking with you guys down in the comments. You guys are really knowledgeable on a lot of stuff, and yeah, it's just been really a lot of fun doing this. So this works similar to a typical unboxing. I got a couple things here that the envelope, had the seller's name on the front and back, so I had to open those up previously. We have a couple other packages here that are still sealed. One of which was apparently opened by the Border Customs and Border Protection, which I'm curious to see what shape that one's in. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started here. Just switch the camera angle to a close-up view. All right, bit of an awkward angle to film at, but we will make that work, except my rum and coke's way over there. 1 second. And got it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, for those of you curious, rum and coke is the collector drink of choice. Anyway, first one that we have here, we got 2 death cards, I believe, in this one. So the first card here is for Franz Rerl, who is a soldier in the 16th Bavarian Reserve Infantry Regiment, 12th Company, bearer the Iron Cross 2nd Class. Some other medals there with swords, who was killed September 18th, or was wounded September 18th, 1917 at St. Quentin, and died on June 15th, 1918 in St. Marian Hospital in Niedermarsburg. So Franz was a member of the same regiment as Hitler. I've actually bought, I think, 3 different cards for the 16th Reserve Bavarian Infantry Regiment this past year, so that's pretty neat. That unit's fairly well documented, so it's always good to be able to research those. And then we have another card here in a protective sleeve, so we'll get that opened up. Ooh, it feels like a 6-panel. Let's see here. It is not a 6-panel, does it look like? So we have the death card here for Johann B. Huber, who was a Stadtführer in Landau. Let's see, who was born April 2nd, 1892. Became a priest, it looks like, in December 30th, 1931, and died September 13th, 1942. So he was a veteran of the First World War. I do remember this. I think that he was killed by the regime, if I remember correctly. There's a story here. I'll have to look it up after this. I'll try to remember to put it down in the comments. But this is actually a really neat card, because we see him in like his clerical outfit there, his robes, and he has a cutout version of the wound badge, which is pretty cool. An EK1, EK2, and then an award there that I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I'll also look that up. But yeah, pretty neat card. I love unique death cards, because after a while, a lot of them kind of blend together, until you actually do the research and find the actual casualty records, link it to certain units. So it's always neat when you find a death card and you pick it up or you see it on the auction, and instantly there's something that kind of draws your eye as like, hey, I've seen thousands of these, but this one is different. So we have another death card here. It's wrapped up in paper for some kind of business, so I'll leave them out of it. But we have the death card for Onher, born Obernoster, who was a Hauptfeldwebel's assistant and was killed or died after receiving the last sacrament on December 5th, 1943. So she was a flak helper, I believe, which I don't think I've seen a death card for one of them before. So that's kind of like a neat find there. And then moving on here, we have a card for Franz Hauser, who was a Gefreiter Infantry Regiment, who on May 31st, 1940, fell in the Great Attack on Flanders, looks like the Flanderschlacht, at the age of 26. I remember there's a story about the Flanderschlacht, but I can't remember what it is right now. Isn't it, well, there was a series of fortresses there that the Germans had to take, and I think they only had paratroopers. Or is that something else I'm thinking of? Somebody will correct me down in the comments, but I remember there was actually an interesting story behind this one. I feel like I've said that a few times already in this video. There's a cool story here. Can't remember what it is, but I buy a lot of these cards, you know, months before they end up in an unboxing. Because, you know, it takes some time to get here from Germany, and then they sit for a while till I get a lot of them together. So, unfortunately, I sometimes forget a few things in the meantime and have to look them back up. So we have two cards here. The first one is for Johann Meidel, who is an Obergefreiter in a Storm Pioneer Battalion, bearer of the Pioneer Assault Badge, the Eastern Front Medal, the Crimean Shield, and the Wound Badges, who on April 11th, 1943, during a Genezungseinheit, not sure what that is, but it looks like he was killed at the age of 31. Pretty nice backing there, HCOM 209. Also, I'm not sure if you guys can hear my furnace, but it's also occasionally kicking on in the background. It's cold here in Pennsylvania. So we have another card here for Alphonse Mondel, who was a soldier in infantry regiment who was killed on June 19th, 1940 at Pompey near Verdun at the age of 27. So, nice early war card. I've been kind of gunning for the 1940, 1939 dates recently. I noticed that most of my collection's in like the 42, 43, 44 range. So I've been trying to find some of the earlier stuff just because it's kind of underrepresented in my collection. But that's all the ones I've already opened. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the actual opening portion of the video. We're only, what, 7 minutes in, and now we're getting to the actual unboxing part of this. That's cool. Let's see, it looks like we got a sales invoice there. Yes, it is. So I will make sure to keep that off camera. Of course, the guy has his, he has this is from an actual Militaria store. That's kind of neat. It's funny, because a lot of dealers actually also run eBay stores, so I'll have to go check out his website later and see if he has any more cards. But here we have the card of Johann Steiger, who's an Obergefreiter in infantry regiment, who was killed on June 7th, 1940 by Attichy in North France at the age of 26. Another nice early war card, like I was saying. Definitely have to check out his website later. I know I keep saying I feel like I know for a fact there's at least one 6-panel in here, but now I'm kind of doubting myself that maybe there's not. So I guess we're going to look into that together. We have another one here that looks like it has a sales invoice. Yep, yes it does. Casually pull that out of there. Okay, so we have a nice 4-panel card here for Rudolf and Leopold Krenn. So Rudolf Krenn is the bearer of the Iron Cross 2nd Class, the Infantry Assault Badge, the Wound Badges, and it looks like he was killed fighting the Soviets on March 16th, 1943, or he was heavily wounded March 16th, 1943, died in a reserve hospital in Inrodov on April 15th, 1943. His brother Leopold was killed September 15th, 1939 in Poland, near Zapiala. Zapiala near Oleshnich. Sorry, I apologize, I'm mispronouncing all of that. We actually have photographs of them here on the back. This is actually a really nice card in the fact that I don't think this has ever actually been folded, so it looks like it was actually stored flat, never folded. You don't see this on 4 panels very often, so this one's pretty much unissued. I know people ask me about, reproductions or fakes occasionally, but I can guarantee you just by... I can actually see the dot pattern just with the naked eye here. This is definitely a 100% authentic card. So very cool. Definitely going to take good care of that one. Go ahead and move on to the next card here. Keep having to move this knife behind the camera to get around to open it because I'm kind of have my arms around the tripod, and I keep thinking I'm accidentally going to stab myself, so I'm going to have to be careful there. All right, so we have the cards here. It looks like there's a postcard in the envelope as well. Some kind of old oil painting. I am not an art person, so I apologize if that's... well, the name is on the back here. Looks like it's Künstler Hilfswerk 1937, or Hilfswerk. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at these. Oh, except this envelope is taped shut, so we're just going to very carefully... here we go. That shouldn't do it. Alrighty, so starting, I guess, from the top of the pile. We have the card here for Lorenz Detter, Oberfeldwebel on a divisional staff who was killed on June 27th, 1941 at the age of 26 in the East. Very nice photo of Lorenz there holding his sword. Obviously being an Oberfeldwebel on a divisional staff. We have a very nice dress uniform there as well. You don't see these sword pictures as much during World War II. You see quite a few of them for World War I era officers. So always very cool to see. Let's see. This next card here we have for two brothers, or is it the same guy? So souvenir for, look, brother P. Alvin and Aloy Spotzel there. Now notice, so we only have one set of dates. I'm wondering, their faces look pretty similar. So a lot of people might not know this, but generally in Catholicism, when you become a monk, you take on a new name. So I'm wondering if Aloy was his previous name prior to joining the monastery, and then when he ended up getting drafted to join the military, he went back to his prior name. Or maybe these are two brothers. Be curious what you think below. But it looks like Aloy here was a Sanitäter Obergefreiter, bearer of the Iron Cross Second Class, who was killed on the Eastern Front after being heavily wounded, dying February 8th, 1943. And that would actually track, because so a lot of the monks and the priests that you find death cards for in uniform, most of those guys were in medical units. I think there's maybe a handful of examples I've seen where they're actually in like combat type roles, but generally they end up in hospital type settings, which makes sense given, you know, the spiritual aspect of being a monk or a priest and, you know, trying to be in a position where you're helping people as they're suffering, you know, kind of tracks there. So this one is for, Dr. Matthias Württemberger, who is a major and battalion commander who fell in Letland on September 24th, 1944. Very cool photo of him. As we can see here, he has the continuation class for the Iron Cross, which means that he was awarded the Iron Cross in the First World War and the Second World War. Nice little ribbon bar there, too, that I'll have to research later. But being a battalion commander, if I am actually able to find a casualty record for him, I bet you if I can track down a unit history, there'll be some good info on him. Granted, the way my backlog's currently sitting, it's going to be a very long time before I get to that, but it could be an interesting story once we get there. Oh, interesting. It looks like I got a period postcard included with this piece. So we have this here, which seems to be somewhere in Lotharingia, maybe? But yeah, it's a postcard from 1916. We have fell post number FB14. Interesting. Definitely have to do some research on that. We have a death card here. If I open up this plastic sleeve, for Josef Erndl, who was a Gefreiter in Infantry Regiment, died for Führer and people on June 4th, 1940, near Abbeville, France, at the age of 27. So nice, another French campaign card, like I was saying earlier. Let's see. Remember to open this on camera. On this one, we got some postcards taped together. Okay. See if that's enough to get the death card out. It is. Alrighty. Oh, interesting. So, I'm pretty sure those were from two different sellers. Or are they the same one? That's weird these were in two different envelopes. Okay, so Dr. Matthias again here. So we have two different death notices for him. This one's a bit more of a photo. You can see his full continuation clasp there. No additional information, it looks like. But yeah, that's weird it came in two envelopes. Did I buy those on two separate days? I don't know. I can't remember. It was a while ago. But still, kind of a weird one to see. Anyway, moving on here. All right, looks like we have a death card for Michael Reiser, who was died on June 25th, 1940, at the age of 46. And he was a Stanzer. I don't know what a Stanzer is, but he's in a military uniform there. So definitely have to do some research, look that one up. Let's see. I have another one. It looks like I accidentally opened this one previously. So, sure, nothing left in the envelope. Okay, so the the postcard here is apparently cotton candy. That's neat. And then the actual death card here is for Heinrich Link, who was a veteran of the First World War, bearer of the War Merit Cross with Swords, and the Front Fighter Awards. And it looks like he was killed June 6, 1944, on the Canal Coast in Calais. Oh, so we have an actual, June 6th. We have another D-Day card here. Now, weirdly, it might just be the photo, but does he have, like, a beard or, like, a little goatee there? So, pretty much every other death card I've seen, I think the guy's generally clean-shaven. I wonder if this is because he's older. He would have been 48 when this photo was taken. When he was killed in 1944, so this might have been a year earlier, but still, he's in his late 40s. So obviously, at this point in the war, manpower is kind of a problem. And given the fact that he's a matrosa here, he would have been in the Kriegsmarine, I guess. So which makes sense if he's on the Canal Coast. He probably had was manning one of the coastal guns on D-Day. So yeah, very cool. I've been wanting a D-Day card for a while, actually. As I was talking, I kind of remember now buying that one. I thought it was kind of interesting. And if I am right, I'll have to look at it closer later, that he has a beard there. I think that's the first World War II death card I have seen where the guy has a beard. So that's kind of cool. All right, looks like we have another invoice there, so just have to open this one off camera. Another card. This one is from the same Militaria dealer, it looks like. We have Alphonse Ortner, who was an Oberschütze veteran of the campaigns in France and Russia, who was killed on July 1st, 1944, at the age of 23 in a Bombenangriff, so bomb attack maybe, in Reitemel. And then we have a pretty nice photo there of him in his garrison cap. And, yeah, pretty neat. It's pretty early in the Eastern Campaign as well, being in July of 1941. All right, so this is another one that I accidentally apparently opened at some point. This one also had a card for a Militaria store on it, so I guess I'll have to check that out later, too. Let's see here. So we have this one in the plastic. Another car driving by behind me. All right, so this is for a member of the Kriegsmarine here, Joseph London, who is a machinist mate on a U-boat, bearing the Iron Cross Second Class and the U-boat badge. We got a little bit of a story there, born 1919 in Bonn, Endenich, and looks like he joined the Kriegsmarine on October 1st, 1938. Was on a Schnellboat for a while, then was transferred to U-boats. Looks like they were sunk by a plane attack on May 31st, 1943. So, pretty interesting there. I like these little biography cards, too. I'm looking forward to fully translating that one. And yeah, I don't have a ton of Kriegsmarine cards, so always interesting to see those as well. I'm going to get a quick drink here. So, this package is kind of weird. So, as you can see here, Border Protection apparently examined it. I don't know who examined it, because it looks like they chose not to put their number or name on it. So, I get a lot of packages from overseas, as you guys know. So, I have occasionally had a package get like X-rayed or something like that. I don't think I've ever actually had one opened. And given the fact I'm fairly certain this is a death card, I'm curious what that reaction was. So I guess we'll get the knife here. Actually, I might be able to open the tape. Try not to show the other side of the envelope because it has the shipping label on it. Alrighty, let's see here what we have. Oh. So, I'm genuinely curious if this was in this rough shape before. I'll have to look at the auction again. All right, so this is the death card of Lawrence Eupner, who was killed in Sontag on April 8th, 1945, at the age of 55. So, yeah, it looks like he's got a Feldpolizei uniform there. I have to look at the auction because, like, yeah, this is definitely... I don't remember buying a card that was falling apart, but it's out of an album, so maybe... Yeah, I don't... This doesn't look like it was inflicted by the Border Patrol, so I'm just going to assume that this is wear and tear and it, you know, the glue dried up. Looks like that glue stain's pretty old. But still, probably a weird thing for Border Patrol to look at that day. Or Border Protection. I don't know why I keep saying Border Patrol. It's a kind of a weird one. So if that was you, I apologize. Random Border Customs agent person. Because that probably was a weird one for your day. So this one's kind of neat as well. This I thought was something else that I was waiting on for a big project, so I already kind of opened it up, which I'm not going to disclose fully here. It is something that'll hopefully be on the channel eventually, but it's going to be a big project. I want to kind of get it underway before I talk about it. But these are pretty cool. So there's a guy on eBay who's had a bunch of these like Red Cross data sheets that I guess were for people that were missing at the end of World War II. You know, people trying to find their families and everything. So we have like some Feldpost numbers listing up here. We have Vermissen. Looks like these are guys from Panzerjäger Abteilung 205, Panzerjäger Company 1023, and Panzerjäger something 1205. And then the other sheet here, these are kind of in rough shape, so you can see have some tears. Looks like, yeah, German Red Cross, Munich missing. We have people from Panzerjäger Abteilung 203 and Pack Company 203 as well. There's their Feldpost number. Interesting photo of Johann there, has a rifle strung across his back as well. So I've never seen these before, so if anybody has any info on them, I'd appreciate it, but I'm definitely looking forward to doing some research on these. And they had a bunch left too, so I might actually pick up a few more. It seems like they must have found a file of them somewhere. So the last package I have here is kind of a unique one. So this is an entire, like, out of the woodwork lot that came out of an old estate sale in Germany. So there is military and civilian death cards from World War I and World War II, along with a couple other pieces of paperwork. And the reason I bought this and paid as much to ship it as I paid for the lot is because it's kind of unusual in my collection, is this is advertised at least as an untouched lot, all from one family, documenting decades of funeral cards they received. And as somebody who's kind of a nerd for, like, obviously the military side of death cards, but even, like, the more civilian, like, you know, the manufacturing side, the actual, like, distribution side, this was just a cool lot that I really, really couldn't justify passing up. So I did actually already open it on the bottom, but there was or where the shipping label was, because, I thought this was this other item that I was looking for a project. But we have the paper bag here that has all of the documents in it. There's a lot. So yeah, like I said, this is all one out of one estate, so all out of one family home here. So I'm actually gonna get out of my chair because it's starting to get annoying reaching around the camera, and we're gonna go right here instead, so I can kneel a little bit. So yeah, we're just gonna go through them real quick. There's a ton. Jeez. All right. Looks like, all right, so starting off here, Josef Engelhardt, veteran of the Second World War, died 1980. Looks like he was bearer the Iron Cross Second Class and the Assault Badge. So he actually survived the war, so that's kind of cool. Wonder if there's all the military cards wrapped up on top here. Yeah, probably, so we'll go through these. We have Max Schwarzensteiner, who was killed June 9th, 1940, in the attack on Attigny on the Aisne at the age of 26. We have Josef Wallner, another veteran of the Second World War, who died on August 2nd, 1951. So that's kind of neat. I don't have a ton for veterans that survived the war, so this is actually kind of cool seeing all of these here. We have another card here for a Georg Hager, who was a veteran of the First World War, and it looks like he died on March 13th, 1950, at the age of 53. Let's see, we have Johann Pickler here, veteran of the First World War, who died on July 8th, 1938. It looks like there's a cause of death listed there, but I can't tell what it is because a lot of these words I'm not as familiar with. We have Josef Niedermeyer, another veteran of the First World War who died June 7th, 1959. We have Jacob Hausler, who was an Obergefreiter in a Gebersjäger regiment who died April of 1945 by Mistelbach in Österreich, so in Austria. We have Martin Huber here, who was missing as of December 1945. So you see this sometimes too, that families will actually print death cards for people that they're not 100% or sure actually passed away during the war, but it's been, years and nobody's seen or heard from them. So there's a good chance when I look him up, I'll find nothing, but there's also a chance when I look him up, I will find, reference that he died in like a POW camp or something similar. So moving on here, we have Albert Huber, who was a Gefreiter in a Gebersjäger regiment, died April 20th, 1945 at Nieder-Sebersdorf in Oberschlesien at the age of 18. A lot of these are late war cards, too, it seems. We have Hans Rieder, who was an Obergefreiter in a Gebersjäger regiment, bear the Iron Cross Second Class, the Infantry Assault Badge, the War Merit Crosses, the Eastern Front Medal, and the Wound Badges, who died March 20th, 1945 in Cronkite. And we have Franz Paul Eberger, who was killed June 5th, 1940 in North France at the age of 23 and 6 months. We have Josef Schild, who was born Obergefreiter in an infantry regiment, born March 17th, 1907, died October 16th, 1944 in France. So kind of nice Western Front card there. We have Jacob Reiter, who was a soldier in an infantry regiment, died July 24th, 1941 at Yakhanovka in Russia at the age of 20 and a half. Have a nice helmet photo death card here for Max Roth, who was a soldier in an infantry regiment, who died on November 3rd, 1942 in the heavy fighting in the East at the age of 34. Noticing a lot of the last names don't seem to be similar either, which is kind of interesting. Joseph Sams, ordnance officer and company Führer in a Grenadier battalion. Bear the Iron Cross Second Class, the War Merit Cross with Swords, and the Eastern Front Medal, who fell on March 24th, 1943 in Ludogasi. Ordnance officer is kind of a new one. I don't think I have one of those. Let's see. We have a very rough 4-panel card here for Matthias and Ludwig Long. And it looks like Matthias was a Leutnant in the 97th Gebergs Division. Bear the German Cross in Gold, the Iron Cross First, Second Class, and various other awards. Died April 18th, 1945. And then we have, so German Cross in Gold winner, actually, so that's kind of cool. And then Ludwig was an Obergefreiter in the 17th Panzer Division who died on November 1st, 1944 in a Russian POW camp. So it's unfortunate it's in such rough shape, but also interesting, their divisions are listed here, which, as I was saying earlier, you don't see a lot in like the mid-war cards. You see a little bit on the early war and occasionally on the post-war, so that's kind of a neat inclusion there. And next card we have here is for Georg Vollner, Jaeger on the staff of a communication battalion. It looks like he was killed August 1944. The age of 18. And the last card from that bunch is Sebastian Zahetmeyer, Oberjäger in a Gebersjäger regiment, bear the Iron Cross Second Class, the Infantry Assault Badge, and the Silver Wound Badge, Eastern Front Medal, and the Romanian Topter Kitesaus Eignugen. That was awful. Some kind of Romanian awards. That's kind of cool. And he was killed April 14th, 1945 at the Cuban, fighting in the Cuban. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Actually, some of the Gebergs Jaegers that fought on the Southern Front, you do occasionally see Romanian awards. I have a few other examples in my collection. So that's pretty cool. Get a drink real quick here. A bit of a longer video than I was anticipating. That's, good to round out the year with. Let's see, we have some miscellaneous little children's booklets here, it looks like. I like these. Apparently, a couple of them seem to be like a Western one there, it looks like. I don't really know what these are, little penny books. Kind of neat. Like I said, there's just a whole bunch of miscellaneous paperwork in here. I'm pretty sure... So the neighbor's dogs were barking, so I paused for a second, and while they were calming down, I kind of did a quick look through the all those civilian cards. Bulk of them seem to be from like the 50s and 60s. When I eventually do a full video on this entire grouping, I'll definitely go through all those in more detail. But I found a few more veterans in there. Josef Grobikler, who was a veteran of the First World War, died February 20th, 1939. We have Eloy Grobikler, who was also a veteran of the First World War, died April 29th, 1950. Georg Schweiger, who is a veteran of the First World War, died March 1st, 1953. Johann Ackermann, who was a veteran of the First World War, died October 6th, 1960. Franz Ettenhuber, who was a veteran of the Second World War, died January 21st, 1958. We have Egid Grobel, who was a veteran of the First World War and died July 5th, 1943. And we do have one World War I card here for Leopold Reiter, who was in the 2nd Reserve Infantry Regiment, 10th Company, who died September 3rd, 1916, from a headshot on the Somme at the age of, after 25 months of faithful service to the age of 32. So nice Somme card there. And then, let's see, we have postcard there of building in Krakow with some scribbles. Doesn't really look like text. Then we have some kind of document here, it looks like. Bruderschaft der Heiligen Rosenkranz. Has this old military photo here, though. The old photography studio. That's very old. I mean, that could be... I don't know my uniforms around that. That could be Franco-Prussian War, maybe. Not really sure what this little booklet is, either. Published 1876. I mean, that could track. Franco-Prussian's a little out of my wheelhouse, but... and then what? This was filled out 4th October, 1944. I don't know what this is. I'm going to do research on it, but if anybody happens to know, I would greatly appreciate it. It's kind of a unique one there. And then we have a few more postcards. Let's see, postcard of the Europa. And it looks like this was sent sometime during World War II based off the stamp. Let's see, and then we have another photo of Krakow. Yeah, Adolf Hitler plots right there. I've just sent back as a bit of a brief hello. House Osmark. Another World War II era one here. Not seeing a Feldpost number on any of these either, so this must be civilian mail. Another postcard here with a lot of text. Is that Feldpost number? Number 37. It's pretty low. Definitely have to do research on that one. And another one of a train here somewhere in the east. That one's from 1938, so that's pre-war. So yeah, this one's kind of intriguing me too. I've never seen one quite like this. This one's from 44. But yeah, so definitely some more stuff that I need to research from that lot. But yeah, I just thought it was cool. I think with shipping, it ended up being about $100, which, given the amount of cards there, seemed like a pretty darn good deal. And maybe even some Franco-Prussian stuff, if I'm correct about that booklet. So yeah, this very cool grouping here, which I'm definitely going to put back in this bag so that they don't get separated. And at some point in the next 10 to 20 years, I'll do a video on it. But yeah, pretty cool group there. So yeah, overall, really good unboxing. We had that, the Red Cross sheets, then a nice stack of death cards there as well. But yeah, no, it's been a really good year for the channel. I've really enjoyed, doing the videos. It's been really gratifying seeing all the growth that's happened, and yeah, so I guess as this car drives by and it picks up my audio, yeah, just thank you guys for all your support. It means a lot to me. I really cool having an audience now to talk about this stuff. Well, yeah, I was trying to be sentimental, but apparently they're backing a truck up somewhere across the street, so I apologize. That's going to pick up, but yeah, no, it's been a really good 2023. A lot of great stuff added to the collection. I think a lot of good growth on the channel, and I think 2024 is going to be even better. Like I said, I have a project I'm going to be starting up here over the winter that once I really get the ball rolling on that, I hope to kind of start sharing that with you guys. It's a little bit different than kind of some of the other content that we've been doing. 1,000 subscriber specials already in the works because I made a promise years ago that I wish that I hadn't about what the 1,000 subscriber special is going to be. So if you want the whole story on that, I'll link the video up there. You can bask in its glory. But yeah, overall, just really good unboxing and just a really good year in general. So yeah, just thank you all for watching. I hope you had a great year as well, and I hope that 2024 is even better. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Happy collecting, and I'll see you all again very soon.